Hello there, World of Tankers, Untitled Blitz, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the T32, the Tier 8 American Tech Tree Heavy Tank, which follows in suit, of course, to the T125. We're going to be comparing this to the T34, which is one of the most widely known Tier 8 American premiums in the game, which does 400 damage with 250 millimeters of standard pen, so very deadly gun. So we're going to be starting off with the T32. Of course, I'm going to talk about both the tanks with some live gameplay, comparing the statistics, the playstyles, and everything else like that. And by the end of this video, not only am I going to be telling you which tank I do think is more enjoyable to play, I'm also going to be letting you know which one I do think is a better vehicle overall. So of course, you guys actually voted on a poll and said you wanted to see this content pop out next on the channel. So if you're new to the channel and you want to vote on more videos that you possibly want to see me rolling out on the content here, make sure to smash that subscribe button down below. It really helps out the channel, especially with the wonderful small community of World of Tanks Blitz we are in. So starting off with the more armored variant, we're going to be talking about the T32. Now this vehicle, unlike the T34, actually has good frontal armor. The upper plate on this vehicle, it's not necessarily spectacular, but it's about 200 millimeters on average, which means that if you angle it up, well, it's actually pretty dang thick at around 250 millimeters. Most shells are going to ricochet right off of the upper plate. The biggest issue I find with this tank is the gun, and it's not really the gun part that you think of. You might think it's the DPM, which isn't great. It's not the DPM, it's not the aiming time, it's not the penetration. A lot of people say the pen is awful on this tank. I don't think 200 millimeters is actually that bad. I think that if you know how to penetrate enemy opponents, you can easily get right through them. We're up against some very tough Tier 8 heavies. The VK168, well, that one's not necessarily really tough, but the Tiger 2 is a very tough Tier 8 heavy tank, and I'm not too worried about penning him because I know where the weak spots are in the Tiger 2, and my premium should easily cut right through his armor. But enough about that. The T32's biggest issue is the dispersion. It's 0.376. Now that is possibly one of the worst dispersion values I've ever seen for not such a great gun. Like, it's a 105 millimeter. It's not like some special tier, you know, it's not some 400 damage gun. It's a 105 millimeter. That's the part that weirds me out. But you can see that penetration, again, isn't bad. When you can penetrate a tortoise right through the frontal armor, that's pretty dang impressive. I'm using my good upper plate armor here. Again, we're going to see if we can get another tap, once again penetrating the tortoise here. So I can just kind of hold here, and this is where the T32 does quite well. I think the balance to the T32's awful dispersion is that you can run the tank quite aggressive in frontline positions, and because you have a nice aiming time of only 3.8 seconds, it does quite well. But again, you can see here, I'm just pummeling shell after shell right into the enemy team. Even though I am spamming premium shells, I still have not lost a singular hit point in my vehicle yet. And, yeah, let's just get a nice tap right into the lower plate of that 168. Again, backing up, you can see I've already picked up around 1,400 damage. And, yeah, the VK just missed a shot of me, so we're going to get another tap right into the lower plate of him. And that is the roll of the T32. You can see that my armor is doing great. The T34 definitely would struggle in a position like this. So, oof, that shot, there you go. You can see the dispersion finally letting me down. That is where the dispersion really just, yeah, we'll just say it's not great. Oof, we did get penned there. I'm just going to load a premium shell, finish off. Well, I guess we didn't need to finish him off, but we're just going to push up here. I don't really necessarily know where the rest of the enemy team is. We know that they still have that Tiger left, but yeah, this is a pretty easy victory here, so let us just get to the side of this VK. There we go. Now we've got the side of him, and my teammate getting a glorious shell, finishing him right out of the game, and all that's left is the Tiger 2, so we didn't necessarily do the most damage here, but oof, that is a shot we could not penetrate. But even with not getting out the most damage, still seems like it's going to be quite a nice victory here. Let's just get to the side of this Tiger. Well, it looks like my VK finished him off, but I can't complain. As I said, that was a perfect game to show how the T32 works. If you use your upper plate armor, you can see I've got a bunch of ricochets all over the upper plate of the tank, and that's because, as I said, it's 200 millimeters thick on average, which means that I was angling it a little bit. It was about 220 millimeters thick there, and that stock tortoise couldn't really penetrate me, neither could the VK, so we blocked about, I'd say, 50% of the shells we did receive worked quite well in that game, and yeah, you can see that the T32 is actually a quite strong Tier 8 heavy. It's just, again, like, that dispersion of 0.376, that is the only thing I think Wargaming
gaming should buff, maybe make it like 0.35. That's just an awful value. To show you how bad that dispersion is, the T34's dispersion is 0.317, and this is a larger caliber, so yeah, quite weird. So we didn't really get to run the T32 in a hull down position, and that's where the vehicle is really good, because of course that upper plate is practically impenetrable. It's got super thick upper plate, and as well that turret is really hard to penetrate. The T34, while it is a hard turret to penetrate, it definitely has its fair share of weak spots. If you turn it to the side, it's massive. Like, it's got that whole thing that hangs over the back of it. Not only does it have a very large turret, you can also penetrate the cheeks if you have more than around 260, 70 millimeters of pen. And judging that, if you're running an IS-5, you've got 297 with your premium, you definitely can make quick work of the turret on this vehicle. So this tank definitely comes with its fair share of downsides, but the gun really makes up for it. This is one of the deadliest guns at tier 8. When you have a T34 aiming at you, you pretty much know that you're going to lose your hit points. Even in like a Tiger, it's just going to penetrate through your armor. I've got 260 millimeters of standard pen with this tank because I'm running calibrated. Now that's ridiculous. That literally means that I can easily penetrate like an E75's upper plate. Not an upper plate. Don't listen to me. The lower plate of an E75 I can easily penetrate with my standard shells, which you really can't do that with your average tier 8 heavy. So this vehicle definitely is a tier 8 exception. Now, judging that nobody is spotted over here, it's most likely that the enemy team is pushing their vehicles over to this side, which they are. So right now we've got that E75, and as long as he can't aim at my upper plate, there you go, you can see he misses the shot. So this is, again, a very important position for my T34. I've put it in a hull down spot to where my turret armor will do the trick to the best of its abilities, and that way a vehicle like the E75 really is going to struggle to take me out. But of course I want to be careful here at the same time. I would love to be able to get a shot into the side of that Mowry, but it's just a very tense situation right now because of course there are a lot of vehicles on the enemy team, so I can't get a shot into that Mowry, it would appear, and yeah, I don't want to be hit by him at the same time, but I don't know what to do necessarily right now. This is definitely a weird situation. So here we go. We've got the Mowry and HE shell right in the back of him, finishing him off, so nice little tap there. We've got the Jagd Panther 2 pulling out. Ooh, we got a lot of vehicles pulling out. I'm going to back up as quickly as I possibly can here, because again, I don't want to be tapped and lose all of my HP, but you know what? That guy, yeah, he's going to get tapped and lose all of his. 500 damage there, and again, this VK168, while it may be a German tier 8 super heavy, he really can't do anything to me. Like, I doubt he can actually damage me whatsoever through the frontal armor. There you go, you can see literally just backing up, and nice little tap right through the turret armor. Again, I'm just going to hold here. Jagd Panther missing a shot on my turret. I'm just going to put my gun up, that way it's blocking my weak cupola. Now, sadly, I did get penned, and you can actually see a weird overmatch right through the upper part of this tank. We did get a nice HE, though, into that T54. I did get hit for about 500 damage in the side of the vehicle, and I don't know what hit me. Actually, it might not have been through the side, but yeah, definitely a weird penetration. So we got that Jagd Panther who, yeah, you can see what happened to him, finished off, and overall, pretty solid game here. So, as I said, the turn on the vehicle definitely has its weak spots. We were penned right through the roof by 2 APCR rounds, but I can't complain. We did pretty dang good here. We are going to be penned by this VK, but you know what? Ooh, you know what? We did not penetrate that. Okay, I'm going to back up here and pretend like that didn't happen. You guys saw nothing, but it's fine. We're going to reload here in 4 seconds. We'll pull out. We'll get a nice tap. Come on, out-reload that T30. No. Okay, well, we didn't get a max roll. We could have gotten into him there, but I still can't complain. All we have left is the tortoise. And yeah, this will be a pretty solid game pulling out. If we get one more shot penetrated, it will be 3,000 damage. Now, while the T32 is a solid vehicle, I definitely feel that the T34 is a better tank. I think that not only does it have a better gun, which you can see here working into its full effect, we've already broken 3,000 damage here, it just has the ability to not only really easily penetrate enemy opponents, but as well, you don't have to worry about shooting premium constantly, lowering your average damage you can use in this tank. But, like, it's just way easier. Now, that was a bad shot for me there. I kind of expected him to stay up there, and he backed down. But, again, 3,000 damage in this game. Pretty solid effort. We have a lot of hit points, not nearly as much as the T32. As I said, the T32 is more of the heavily armored variant, but can't complain for dealing 3,000 damage. So both of the vehicles are strong in my opinion. I just think that the T34 is not only more fun to play, but it is also a better tier 8 heavy tank. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, if you agree with me or you disagree. Again, I'm not knocking the T32. That's one thing I always try and convey, is a lot of people think that when I say the T34 is better, I'm knocking down the T32. I actually think that if you know what to do, this is a great vehicle. As we know, Pramo used this tank, GP, Pincer, they all use this tank in the tier 8 summer ascent tournaments,
it, and Pramo won using this vehicle $6,000 US. So it's definitely a very strong tank. And the main reason, of course, they used it is because of the consumables. This one right here, improved engine power, and as well the reactive armor, which takes away 20% of damage from any shots hitting you. But because I played this in only public games, it's a little bit different because, of course, I'm not rushing to get into a position to dominate that side of the map. You don't know what's going to happen in public games, so I just run the T32 as my leisure public game tank. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, if you agree or you disagree. But other than that, I hope you're all doing well out there. Stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next one.